رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Sayema Zulfiqar and I'm a student counselor for the Islamic Online University. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to our session today, that is managing your time effectively. And in this brief session, inshallah, we will be looking at a few tips and tricks on how you can be productive students while balancing your personal and professional commitments alongside. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this session beneficial and insightful for you. Ameen. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, as a former Islamic Online University student and as a student counselor, I'm often asked about how do I balance between my work and my studies, or how do I balance between my family and studies. Now, this is a really complicated question to answer because, as you are aware, at the Islamic Online University, we have students coming in from a variety of different backgrounds. We have students who are working part time, we have students who are working full time, we have students who are working parents, we have students coming in from a lot of different backgrounds. So sometimes what happens is that while we are trying to balance between all these different areas of our lives, we tend to overlook the area of studying in our lives. We tend to neglect our studies. And so what happens is that we completely forget about it, and we either quit or we just keep pushing ourselves until we get exhausted. So it's important that we learn to prioritize and balance all the areas of our lives. And although this is completely normal to experience, but as Islamic Online University students, it's important that we give enough attention, enough respect, enough time, and enough energy to studying, just as we give to our other personal and professional commitments. So, here are some tips for you. Number one is about renewing your intention. Now, everything begins with a firm intention and a sincere resolve. Ask yourself, what's my intention of studying? Why am I learning this? What's my purpose? What's my goal? Am I studying here for the sake of money? Am I studying here to be called a graduate? Am I studying here just for a piece of paper, or am I studying here to gain knowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon me and in turn contribute for the welfare of the Ummah? So let us remind ourselves of our purpose of studying at the Islamic Online University in the very first place. Setting the right intention helps us to focus and prepare for our studies accordingly, and it also helps to earn the pleasure of Allah on the go. And this reminds me of a beautiful saying by Ibn Mubarak, where he mentioned that a small deed, a small deed may become great due to the intention behind it, and a great deed may become small due to the intention behind it. So let us take this opportunity to remind ourselves of our goal and of our purpose and work towards it, inshallah. And I know this sounds a little bit philosophical, it sounds pretty easy, but trust me, it's really not that easy. So it requires consistent practice. And here's a small practical tip for you. Every day before you begin studying, contemplate over your purpose of studying. This could be by setting an alarm, or keep a note on your phone, or hang a sticky note on the refrigerator or somewhere where you often visit, and remind yourself to renew your intention for that day. Now, personally, what I like to do is I like to maintain a to do list, and before I write down each task for the day, I like to start off my to-do list by writing that I need to renew my intention for that day. This helps me become more conscious and more aware, and it gives me a better perspective. And Alhamdulillah, it really, really helps me to keep my intention firm and to motivate me for that day. Alhamdulillah. Number two is about timing your day. Prioritize and plan your study period every day, because often we just plan for a month or for a week, but as you are aware, we have other personal and professional commitments, so sometimes it might interfere in our other areas. So it's best that you plan your study period every day. As online students and as distance education students, we are all balancing our study with other commitments. So try to plan your study period every day. And the way you can do it is by setting aside a specific time and a specific place for studying, so that you are free from all distractions. Preferably, choose a time after Fajr, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this hour really, really blessed for the Ummah, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in the Hadith by Tirmidhi. But if you have other personal or professional commitments at that time, so you can try to choose a time that suits your availability. And also choose a place where you are free from distractions. It could be a study table, it could be your study room, a study space that is away from your bedroom, so that you are free from all sorts of distractions that might come across. Number three is about planning ahead. Now that we've planned our study period, it's also important to plan how do we want to study, and not just when and where. So this area is the most important area of planning. It's similar to what we discussed, but a little bit different. Now, planning helps us to stay on track with our course modules, with our quizzes and assignments, exams, and helps us to finish them before the deadline. I'm sure you all must have heard of this famous proverb. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So, this is something really, really apt for us as students. And it's really, really important that we plan our study period really, really professionally, really productively. And the way you could do it is by going through your IOU student dashboard and just skim through the events calendar. Look out for all the important dates, the exam dates, the assignment submissions dates. Look out for important announcements. Go through the course curriculum for each course that you have undertaken, and go through all the reading materials of that course to get a better insight of your subject. Similarly, what you could do is take a piece of paper or open a Google document sheet or a Microsoft Office document, anything that you like, and start preparing your study timetable. Divide your course modules accordingly. Now, typically at the Islamic Online University, each course consists of 30 modules, and we have 15 modules before the midterms and 15 modules after the midterms. So that's about 30 modules per semester for each course. Aim to finish two course modules every day. Each module is roughly about an hour or so. So that's only about 2 or 2.5 hours of studying as compared to the conventional university study periods. So, Alhamdulillah, studying at IOU gives us greater flexibility. And now that you are planning your timetable, make sure to also include study breaks and set aside some buffer time for any emergencies or unexpected commitments that may interfere with your studies, inshallah. Next is accountability. Our company plays an imperative role in our lives, whether it's in terms of personal development or professional development. As online students, we are all studying from the comfort of our homes. But it's really, really important that we are connected with other fellow students, we interact with them, we engage in meaningful discussions with them so that we are motivated to continue our studies and reach out to them whenever we need any form of assistance. So connect and befriend fellow classmates by joining IOU study groups on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Slack, and also participate in the IOU student discussion forums. Now, if you, for some reason, are unable to find such study groups, feel free to reach out to me, and inshallah, I will assist you. But it's really important that you are connected and you stay in touch with not just fellow IOU students, but also your seniors so that you could seek their advice or assistance as and when the need arises. And finally, I would like to end this session with a reminder to keep your attitude, your mindset positive. Now, as online students, as working professionals, as we're all trying to juggle our responsibilities, and sometimes it gets really, really overwhelming. It gets really frustrating, but it's important that we keep our mindset positive, that we are optimistic and we are prepared to take this journey ahead. So begin your studies with a positive note that you can do it.